The recording is started. Can you able to see the screen? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. So in continuation with the previous class, the same kind of problem, the same procedure, but the thing is, the type of section given is slight variation is there. Okay. And the same question is asked in the June-July 2019 question paper. So a built-up column consists of ISMB 250 at 366 Newton per meter with two side plates 250 mm width and 10 mm thick as shown in the figure. So this figure is also provided in the question. Compute the maximum compressive load that the column can carry if the length of the column is 6.25 meter. Length of the column is given and ends of column are restrained in position at both the ends and one end is restrained against rotation. See, end condition of the column is also provided and this problem is asked for 8 marks. Look at the question or look at the figure, whatever the information provided. ISMB 250 at 366 Newton per meter section is given and height of this plate is given and also thickness of the plate is given. So what we need to calculate here, we need to calculate the maximum compressive load that can or the column can carry. So let us write down the information provided. First, the length of the column is given, that is 6.25 meter, and end condition is provided. One end is fixed and the other end is free. So the effective length of the column will become 0.
Okay. Ravi Kiran, there
Yes,
is a
sir.
correction. It is not free, and the other end is hinged.
So both ends are hinged.
No. One end is fixed. So ends of column are restrained in position means they are in the position. Okay. That means
Yes.
they cannot move. They are not free. Okay. It is as good as both the ends are hinged. And the problem further says at both ends, and one end is restrained against rotation means, so in one of the hinged end, restrained against rotation means that is fixed. That is nothing but one end is fixed and the other end is hinged. So please change that sentence. So one end is, please make that correction. Sorry for the mistake. Okay, please change it. So one end is fixed and the other end is hinged, not strike off free.
And
Okay, go to page number 45,
5.
table 11. There you'll see that. Value taken is okay. Effective length KL equal to 0.8 multiplied by 6.25. So 0.8 is with respect to one end fixed and the other end is hinged. So everything is okay except that word I have written. So end conditions, one end is fixed and the other end is hinged. Strike off that free, right? Hinged. Okay, that's all the correction is. Sorry for that. Thank you.
And the effective length remains same as per table 11, page number 45 of IS 800. Then the effective length will becomes 5 meter. So what are the design steps we usually follow? Initially, we need to write down the properties of the section and calculation of effective area, determination of the buckling class, determination of the compressive strength, that is FCD value, and then calculation of maximum compressive load and service load. So the first step is properties of the section. How to write down the properties of the section? By looking from the steel table, that is ISMB 250 at 366 Newton per meter. Anyone from the student side, please tell me the properties of the section for ISMB 250. What are the values you are going to take from the steel table? What is the sectional area?
4755.
4755. And what is the unit?
Millimeter square.
Yes. And next, what else information you are going to take from the steel table?
Depth of the section
Yes.
is 250 mm.
Yes.
Width of the flange is 125 mm.
Okay.
Thickness of the flange is 12.5 mm.
Okay.
Thickness of web is 6.9 mm.
Okay.
And moment of inertia, that is IZZ, is 5131.6 into 10 power of 4 millimeter to the power of 4.
Okay.
And IYY is 334.5 into 10 to the power of 4 mm4 to the power of 4.
Okay. And then?
Okay. Good, Darshita. You said IZZ. I'm really happy.
Thank you.
Instead of saying IXX, good.
Okay. And the next is radius of gyration, or root radius is 13 millimeter. So don't confuse with the root radius and radius of gyration. Both are provided in the steel table. So why do we need this root radius? To get the effective height or effective width of the web section, that is small d is equal to overall depth 250 minus 2 times thickness of flange to root radius, so which will give us 199. And next is properties of compound section. Compound section means along with the I section we have two cover plates or two plates, right? Side plates. Instead of mentioning cover plates, because it is given in the sides, let us consider side plates. So for the I section it is 4755 mm square, and for the side plates it is given 10 mm thick and 250 width into two plates will give us sectional area for the compound section as 9755 millimeter square. So let us do IZZ for compound section, that is I section as well as plates. For I section it is directly taken from the steel table, and for the plates it is BD cube by 12 into 2. Here we just did BD cube by 12. We are in ZZ plane. Just observe the figure, ZZ plane. What is area into h square? There will not be height because it is in the same plane. So just BD cube by 12 is enough here. So if you do this, IZZ value will be 7735.77 into 10 power 4 mm power 4. Similarly, we should do for IYY direction. So when it comes to IYY, for I section directly you can take from the steel table. And for plates, see BD cube by 12 plus area into h square. How to do that? See, in terms of y direction, you just go back to the figure. Sorry. See, look at the figure, and in y direction. So this is the axis, and from here, center of this plate. So total width is 250. So in 250 divided by 2 means it is 125, and again half of the thickness of the plate. See, 125 by 2 plus 10 by 2 h square is. So if we do this, IYY final value will be.
Ignore this 250 multiplied by 10 cube by 12 because it's a small quantity. So I told you to develop the habit of ignoring this small number. Remember? So this 250 by multiplied by 10 cube divided by 12 can be ignored. Even if you add it, in this case, it doesn't matter. Okay, it is not going to make much difference. Okay, just for your information, that's all.
So the IYY value will be 2616.79 into 10 power 4 mm power 4. Once we got the moment of inertia value, we can compare ZZ terms and YY terms. So the least value will be in YY in this case. So Iyy is 2616. Once we got this, we can go with the least radius of gyration. That is r is equal to square root of I by a. Now here it is in y plane, it is least. So same way ryy is square root of Iyy divided by area. So Iyy value is this, and area we calculated for the compound section, not for the I section. Okay. So once we do this, least radius of gyration ryy, we got 51.79 millimeter. And next is calculation of the effective area. And how to do that? See, from table 2, we should check it is what type of section as well as whether it is effective or not. So to do that, you should open table 2. Anyone open table 2 and check how this 15.7 epsilon and 42.7 epsilon came. Open table 2, page 18 from IS 800. So breadth to thickness of the flange ratio. Breadth means half of the breadth you should consider 125 by 2, and thickness of the flange is 12.5, which is equal to 5, and that is less than 15.7 epsilon. If you open table 2, you will understand this. Same way for side plates you should do. That is also coming within the limits. So the entire section is semi-compact, and you can consider the whole area of cross section as effective. So the effective area remains 9755 mm square. Next, determination of buckling class. Initially we mentioned in the previous class, for any built up sections or compound sections, you can go with the buckling class C. That is available in page number 44, table 10 of IS 800. So once we got this, what is the next step? Calculation of design compressive strength FCD based on table values. For that, you need to calculate KL by R, that is slenderness ratio. So if we do this, we are going to get 96.5. The values are available in page 42 of table 9C. In that, anybody open and tell me the value for 90 and 100. Slenderness ratio of 90 and 100. What is FCD value from page 42?
90 is 121.
90 is 121, correct?
100 is 107.
Correct. And anyone please interpolate between these two values and tell me what is for 96.5. Do interpolation for 96.5 and tell me what is the FCD value.
111.9.
111.9. I hope you are not telling from the notes. You have calculated, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So FCD is 114.9. Once we got FCD, what is the next step? What is the next step? Yes, calculation of maximum compressive load, that is P. PD is equal to effective area into FCD. Effective area we just calculated in the previous step, and FCD we got it now. So if we do this, we going to get design compressive load, but actually what we should calculate, the service load. For that, let us consider factor of safety as 1.5 for the design load. Then the service load will become 727.7 kilonewton. So that is what the maximum compressive load P 720. This is how you should show in the examination. Highlighting the final answer is very important. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. The same procedure we followed, only the section or the figure given is a bit different from previous problems. That is why we did again this one also. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. If not, let us move on to the angle section. If we consider angle section for as a compression member, how to design that, and where we are going to get angle section as a compression member? As we said in the initial class or in the introduction part, it will be used sometimes as a strut in roof truss. Okay, so design of angle compression member. This is one of the member in this part. Angle sections are designed as per class 7.1, that is page 34. Also 7.2.4, page 35, and page 47, that is 7.5. You need to follow these pages from IS 800. So this question is provided in May-June 2008 paper. That is a single angle discontinuous strut ISA 150 by 150 by 15 millimeter. See the angle, both the angle are having 150 and 150 dimension. That means to say it is a symmetrical, both the side same, and thickness is 15 millimeter with single bolted connection and having height of 3.5 meter long. Calculate the safe load bearing capacity of the section. We need to calculate safe load carrying capacity. So the angle is given, height is given, and what else? Nothing. And calculate the safe load carrying capacity. So let us write down whatever the information provided. See, if it is not given, let us consider Fe 410 steel and yield strength as 250 Newton per mm square. Also, let us assume, because support condition is not given, right? But it is mentioned with single bolted connection. So let us assume that both ends are fixed, assuming the member as a strut in a truss and buckling in the plane perpendicular to the plane of the truss. If you open page 35, you'll understand. Anybody open page 35 from IS 800? Page 35. Open and state what is the statement written. Just read out. Anyone? Page 35. 7.2.4 compression members in trusses. Anybody?
In case of bolted, riveted or welded trusses and braced frames, the effective length KL of the compression members shall be taken as 0.7 to 1.0 times the distance between the centers of connections,
Yes.
depending on the degree of end restraint provided.
Correct.
In case of
yes.
In case of members of trusses buckling in the plane perpendicular to the plane of truss, the effective length KL shall be taken as distance between the centers of intersection. The design of angle
Correct.
strut shall
that
be.
is enough. That is enough. Thank you. See, this is how, while solving the problem, you should go through every page from the code book which is relevant. Otherwise, definitely you will not understand. Okay. So let us consider the connection is single bolted. That means to say bolts are provided in one line, and assume two bolts at each end, one at the other corners. So first we should write down the properties, that is ISA 150 by 150 by 15 angle section properties. Is what is the area provided from the steel table? The area is 4278 millimeter square. And what is the least radius of gyration? Open steel table and check what is the value given for least radius of gyration for ISA 150 by 150 by 15. All of you should open this. (150 by 150 by 15). What is the least radius of gyration provided?
So what is the page number you are going to, guys? One of you.
22, sir.
Good. So that is 22 in KLV Ramu.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And what is the R value mentioned? Least radius of gyration you should consider here. What is the least value? Anybody? See, there are three values: Rxx, Ryy, same way Rvv and Ruu, right? For angle section. Hello?
29.3 mm.
29
It
point,
is
Point
Two.
two, sir.
0.2.
29.2 mm.
2. So actually, this is an equal angle. That's why Rxx equal to Ryy. Okay, in case of equal angle. So that is the radius of gyration with respect to x-axis is equal to the radius of gyration with respect to y-axis. So that's why Rxx is equal to Ryy equal to 45.8 millimeter. But when it comes to Ruu, so what is the UU axis? If you look at the figure on the top, you will see that line UU. It is acting at an angle of 45 degree with respect to one of the legs. Okay, with respect to that, the radius of gyration is 57.8 with respect to the axis VV. RVV is 29.2 millimeter. That means about VV axis, when that angle is subjected to compression, the member is going to buckle about that axis. Buckle means then it opens up. The angle, whatever the angle between those two legs, which is 90 degree, is going to become more. That means it simply opens up. That is about VV axis. Okay, lower R value means lower strength with respect to that axis. Okay, thank you guys. Ravikran, you can proceed.
Okay, yes, sir. So after knowing the least radius of gyration, next is the check what type of section it is, or the section is effective or not. For this, open page number 46 from IS 800 class, page 18 of table 2. For this, for this angle section, you should check B or breadth to thickness ratio and depth to thickness ratio. Here, as the both sides are similar, equal angle, so B and D remains same, that is 150, and thickness is 15. To do this, we are going to get it is less than 15.7 times epsilon. How to calculate epsilon? Square root of, hello? Square root of Fy by 250. As we considered yield strength as 250, it will become 1. So whatever the values we got is less than the given values in the table 2. So the entire section is effective. So the effective area will be 4278 mm square. And the buckling class, open page number 44 of table 10, all of you. Open page 44, table 10, and see where is this angle section located. Page 44. All of you. Angle section. For angle section, what is the buckling class? See, if you look at the figure, you will understand. 2, 3, 4, fifth row, or the last second row from the bottom. Angle section is provided, right? Channel, angle, T, and solid section. For that, what is the buckling class? C? Buckling class?
C.
Yes.
Always.
For all type of section,
Okay,
whichever
sir.
is given here, you should blindly, you can choose C as buckling class. Okay. And next, once you got the buckling class, next step is to calculate the design compressive strength. See, initially or in the previous problems, we used to follow the procedure, that is going with the KL by R value and taking the value of FCD from the table, correct, by knowing the buckling class. But here, as it is angle section, open the page number 35. Open page number 35. Here, the slenderness ratio lambda, we need to consider as equivalent slenderness ratio. The procedure remains same, but calculation of lambda value will be somewhat different. For that, you should follow the steps in page number 48, which is provided in page number 48. Just open all of you page number 48 to calculate equivalent slenderness ratio.
Okay. Can I add something, Ravi?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. See, the thing is, for this case, for single angle section, we are not going to make use of those tables on page number, 40, 41, 42, 43, etc. Okay. The reason is the angle is not symmetric about any axis, of course, except the diagonal axis, which we don't consider. So because it is not symmetric, so those tables are not made for non-symmetric sections. Okay, those tables for buckling class A, B, C, D on table 9A, 9B, 9C, and 9D are prepared for symmetric sections. Okay, single angle is not a symmetric section. But when you put double angle back to back or front to front, then the section is going to be symmetric about at least one axis. In such case, you can refer the table. But in this case, it is a single angle. Okay, there is, and also normally it is connected with only one leg. Whatever the load you apply is not going to be concentric. So it is going to be eccentric. That means it is not symmetric. So that is the reason we are going to use these complex formulas. Okay. So again, if you go to page number 35, second column at the end, under 7.2.4, it says compression members in trusses. Please open it. Compression members in trusses under 7.2.4. It says, go to the last sentence in that paragraph. That says the design of angle struts shall be as specified in 7.5. Do you see that? Then go to 7.5. Where is 7.5? 7.5 is in page number 47. Go to page number 47 of the code. So go to the second column. There you will see 7.5 angle struts. It says 7.5.1 single angle struts. 7.5.1.1 concentric loading. Is it not? So ours is not concentric loading. So if it was concentric loading, you would have gone to 7.1.2, wherein you would have used those tables. And that is 9A, 9B, 9C, and 9D tables. But here it is not concentric loading.
7.1.2.
So we should not use 7.1.2 for concentric loading, because ours is not the case of concentric loading. That is, single angle is not the case of concentric loading. Okay, because only one leg is connected to the gusset plate. So what we do is 7.5 angle struts. It says 7.5.1 single angle struts. If you go to the next page, 48. Next page, 48, under 7.5.1.2, it says loaded through one leg. It says loaded through one leg. That's what we do here. We are going to connect only one of the two legs to the gusset plate. So when you do that, so you are supposed to use what is given in 7.5.1.2 on page 48 of the code. Is it clear to you? Okay, now we can proceed. Ravikiran. So up to equation, if you look at the notes on the screen, up to equation 1, 2, and
Yes,
3 I have written. So we took from page number 34. So from that point, the formula we are supposed
Hello,
to
is it
use
audible?
jumps to 48, page number 48.
Hello?
So that's where you are going to use lambda E.
Oh,
In the
hello.
previous case, you were supposed to use lambda. Here, we are not using lambda. Instead of using lambda, we are going to use lambda E, which is equivalent slenderness ratio. This is for a single angle section. Is it clear to you? So, Ravikiran, thank you. You can proceed. Hello?
Hello. Am
Kids
I
like that?
audible?
Yeah, can you hear me, Ravikiran?
Hello? Yes, sir.
Okay, you can proceed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is. Okay. I hope you understood why we should consider equivalent slenderness ratio value for angle section. And based on that knowledge, let us continue how to calculate the values. So lambda, that is slenderness ratio. So let us go one by one. Phi is equal to 0.5, 1 plus alpha into slenderness ratio minus 0.2 plus again slenderness ratio y. So here unknown thing is alpha as well as equivalent slenderness ratio value. So alpha you can get it from the table 7 of page 35 for buckling class C, that is 0.49. And equivalent slenderness ratio value can be calculated using this equation, that is square root of K1 plus K2 lambda V square VV plus K3 lambda square phi. So this equation is available in the page 48 of IS 800, and these K1, K2, K3 values is also available in the same page, that is in table 12. So after knowing these values, we can easily go with the lambda square VB. For this also we have a formula in the same page, and for lambda square phi or lambda phi value is also there in the same page. So in this equation, see B1 and B2 is nothing but the width of the angle, which is provided as 150 and 150. As it is equal angle, this B1 and B2 remains same. So it is mentioned here. See 150 plus 150 divided by 2 times the thickness. Thickness is 15 millimeter. Divided by epsilon value is 1 because we considered yield strength as 250. So phi square E Young's modulus is 2 into 10 power 5. And solving this, we are going to get lambda phi as 0.1125. And next, same way, lambda VV is equal to, so look at the equation, length, this is effective length, divided by RVV, least radius of gyration, which we have taken from the table as 29.2, and effective length as 3.5 meter. In terms of millimeter means multiplying it with the 1000, divided by square root of epsilon value is 1, and phi square E is 2 into 10 power 5 and 250. After solving this, we'll get 1.349. Once we get these two value, yes sir.
Okay. Ravikiran, can I interfere?
Yes sir, yes.
Guys, go to page number 48. If you are on page number 48 already, so as usual under 7.5.1.2, If you look at the formula, lambda VV equal to L by RVV divided by epsilon square root of pi square epsilon. So it is not square root of pi square epsilon divided by 250. It should be E, capital E, Young's modulus. So it is a typing mistake. Change epsilon to E under the square root. There is one outside the square root, that is epsilon. That is correct. So under the square root, it should be pi square E, not pi square epsilon. Similarly, the next one on the same line, and lambda phi equal to B1 plus B2 divided by 2t divided by epsilon, that is correct, square root of pi square E. It is not epsilon. Please change that to E, capital E, Young's modulus. Of course, divided by 250. So that's all the correction is. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So once you calculated these values, you can go back to the previous equation, that is equivalent lambda or equivalent slenderness ratio value, that is equation number 4. You can get this. Okay, go down. See here, by substituting the previous values in equation 4, you are going to get equivalent slenderness ratio values, and you know what is the alpha and equivalent slenderness value. You can get the phi value with the substituting, and once we get this, we go with the FCD value, that is 250 divided by 1.1, the standard equation, which was, see here, equation number 2, which is provided in the page 34. So substitute, you will get FCD. Once we got FCD, again let us move on to equation 1, that is area into FCD. See here, FCD 117.3 Newton per mm square. And once we got FCD value, by substituting FCD in equation 1, that is PD is equal to area into FCD. Effective area we already calculated, FCD value we just now calculated. The design load will be 501.81 kilonewton. So, but we need to calculate the actual or safe load, which is not design load. For that, safe service load, we should consider some factor of safety. Let us consider factor of safety as 1.5, and that is also available in page number 29 of table 4 IS 800. So if we do this, we are going to get safe service load as 334.54 kilonewton, and this is what the final answer is. The safe load carrying capacity of the section 150 by 150 by 15 mm of 3.5 meter length is 334.54 kilonewton. So if you want to connect it, how to do the connection for this? So connection design is, let us assume 24 mm dia bolt is using, and the net area of the bolt is 0.78 times the area of the bolt, that is shank area of the bolt, will give us 353 mm square. And consider the bolt is in single shear, so you already know how to calculate the bolt value in shear as well as bearing. So in shear we got 165.22 kilonewton. Same way in bearing we got 144 kilonewton. The least value or the value of bolt is how much in these two? 65.22 kilonewton. So the total load is how much? Design load 501.81 kilonewton. For that, if you apply value of one bolt 65.22, we required 8 bolts to connect this member. Okay, actually as per the question, I hope this is sufficient. If it is asked to calculate the connection design or show the connection design, you need to calculate further this, that is how many number of bolts is required. So I feel all of you understood this. If you have any doubt, please ask us. just glance once and ask, because this is different type of problem compared to previous one. If you have any doubt, please ask us. Anybody, any doubt? So shall we consider it is clear to you? Okay, let us continue further. Design, next problem, design an angle compression member to carry a factored load of 330 kilonewton over an effective length of, it is directly given effective length 2 meter. The angle is to be connected by only one leg to the gusset plate, which may be assumed as fixed, and this problem is asked for 14 marks. See, let us write down the data provided. For Fe 410 steel and yield strength as 250. The factored load is given, that is 330 kilonewton. Effective length, directly KL value is given as 2 meter. And this is an angle section. So angle section means what is the buckling class? It will be C. So let us see what else information is provided here. Only load and effective length, and what type of section is it provided? Is it provided what type of section? Just it is mentioned angle compression member. Design an angle compression member. So we need to choose a section to satisfy this load and also this height or length. Okay. So for that, initially in I section also, what we used to do, we used
One
to
more thing,
assume.
can I interfere for a minute?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir. Hello. Hello, Chandrasekhar sir.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್.
ಸರ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರೇನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಸರ್ ನಿಮಗೂ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? ನನಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ?
ಸರ್ ನನಗೂ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಓಕೆ 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 ಒಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಸರಿಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್. ಹಲೋ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್? Answer. When section is not provided in the question, we should assume, let us assume slenderness ratio value as 80, and for that FCD from the table 9C of page 42, it will be 136 Newton per mm square. So we have PD is equal to area into FCD, which is available in page number 34. So the effective area will be PD divided by FCD, which will give us 2426.5 mm square. And for this area, we should choose an section from steel table to satisfy this area. This is how we solved one problem for the I section, right? Same procedure we are following here. Once we selected a section, the procedure remains same, or the calculation part remains same. So based on this criteria, we have selected ISA 125 by 95 by 12 mm. You can choose equal angle section or you can choose unequal angle section. Okay, to satisfy this area 2426.5 mm square. So we have chosen 125 by 95 by 12 mm section. For this, what is the properties? Effect area is equal to 2498 mm square. See, the actual area we got 2426. We have increased, or we have considered bit higher value, that is 2498 mm square for this section. And our minimum value is in the direction of VV, that is 20.1 millimeter. And to check whether the section is effective or not, open table 2 for angle section. This is the value, that is breadth to thickness ratio and depth to thickness ratio, as well as B plus D divided by T should be less than or equal to the values provided. It should be less than the value, that is 15.7 epsilon, and for if we add these two, it should be 25 times epsilon values less than the. So for the present moment, we have considered.
Okay,
Can you
Ravi,
sir? Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I joined. The line got disconnected. So
Yes,
just
sir.
one, I want to add one thing. If you go up a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so you can stop there. You can stop there. Guys, if you look here, so to find out the effective depth AE, I have made use of the table 9C on page number 42. But for single angle, I said we are not supposed to use that table. Is it not? But this is just a preliminary design. We are trying to select a section, preliminary section. Later on, we are going to check whether it is adequate or not. For that purpose, I've used this table. Okay, for the detail checking and for the detailed design, you are not supposed to use this table. This is only for preliminary design, that is for a section selection. That's all. Okay, Ravikiran, thank you. You can continue.
Okay, sir. So once we identified the section, entire section is effective, that effective area is 2498 mm square. The rest of the procedure remains same. That is, we need to go with the page number 38, sorry, page number 48. That is whatever we did in the previous problem. Design load is equal to area into FCD. To calculate FCD, this is the thing we want. Equivalent slenderness ratio value we should find. For that, these constants, that is K1, K2, K3 should be taken from the table 12, as well as we need to find out what is lambda VV square and lambda phi square. For that, again, we have a formula here. So if you solve this, we are going to get lambda phi value as 0.1032 and lambda VV value as 1.12. And substitute back to equation number 4, we are going to get equivalent slenderness ratio. And once we get this, again we should substitute back to equation number 3. It is phi is equal to 1.103. Once we get this, we can get the design compressive strength value, that is FCD, as 133.14 Newton per mm square. And once we got FCD, design load is equal to effective area into FCD. So the design load is 332.58 kilonewton. And what is the load given in the question? It is 330 kilonewton, right? See, factored load of 330 kilonewton. So the section what we have selected is carrying 332.58 kilonewton. Suppose the section what we have selected is comes within 330 or carries within 330 kilonewton. Again, we should increase the area of the section and select higher value of the section and continue the same procedure. Okay, so for the present moment, ISA 125 by 95 by 12 mm section is sufficient to carry the given load. Again, if you want to do the connection for the same column, you should calculate what is the bolt value or what is the bolt strength in shear as well as bearing, whichever comes the least, considering that for the 330 kilonewton, if you apply, we are going to get here as 5 number of bolts. So with this, the connection design completes for single angle. I hope you understood this. If you have any doubt, please ask us. Open code book and try to understand today itself, because this is bit variant, different type of problem. And next class we'll solve this one, that is double angle strut. For this class, this is enough. If you have any doubt, please ask us. So shall we wind up the class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.